my lords and members of Parliament, I bring to you the fond greetings of Her Majesty the Queen, in whose name I open the second Parliament of her reign in your presence today. During the first Parliament summoned to Welstonbury by Queen Alexandra, the Glennish people came together for the first time since 2010, resolving to refresh and renew this community's objectives for future growth, with various acts designed to reimagine the very modes and institutions by which we define our common experience as a kingdom. Renewing Glennon's commitment to the universality of opportunity, institutions at the very core of our national identity were reshaped to meet the hopeful expectations of future generations of Glennons. Just as the doors to our community were opened wider than ever before to any and all wishing to join us. Parliament's vigilant guardianship of the rights of conscience was dramatically demonstrated with the passage of the Church of Hanover Act. Just as the Succession Act revealed this body's solicitousness for the preservation of our traditions by permitting sensible reforms which will enable them to endure. With an eye on continuing Parliament's programme for the continued growth and renewed vitality of the Glennish kingdoms and on ensuring the stability of these realms, Her Majesty's government is deeply committed to the introduction of further legislation designed to restore our community's promise. With the hopes and aspirations of the Glennish people in mind, Her Majesty's government will take steps to expand our community's media presence by diversifying the government's approach to the use of electronic media and the Internet. To that end, a new website will be discussed and planned to replace the old one as an instrument by which our community's present-day story may be shared with the world. Steps will also be taken by the government to regulate the use of official media in order to ensure at all times a legitimate expression of the will of the community according to our cherished democratic principles. The information which appears on this community's official electronic media must always reflect the ideas and decisions which have been consented to by the community through her legislative and executive institutions. By way of providing centralized oversight and administration of the official media of this community, Her Majesty's government intends to create a new cabinet portfolio, establishing a ministry for communications. As we are all aware, this community recently weathered a nearly devastating blow when much of the Glennish community's Facebook presence was suddenly and senselessly obliterated. Moving beyond the Facebook community into other areas of the Internet, such as the proposed new website, will be a priority of Her Majesty's government in the coming term. The government shall also embrace a commitment to establish a legal and legislative protocol to be followed in the unlikely event that urgencies, similar to the one we have recently survived, should threaten to disrupt the activities of government once again. The tranquil continuity of the business of the state must be ensured, come what may. Her Majesty's government recognizes that the absence of the formerly established Church of Hanover leaves a void in the culture and spiritual life of this community, which we would perhaps do well to somehow fill. The government, therefore, hopes to initiate a discussion by which thoughts for new ways of facilitating the nurture of religion may be proposed for the benefit of those among us who desire to incorporate a spiritual element into our Glennish experience. From the very earliest days of this community, religion has featured prominently in our culture. Her Majesty's government hopes to discover ways in which spirituality can have new meaning in a community that has decided to part ways with state-sponsored religious affiliation. The accession to the throne of Her Majesty the Queen earlier this year marked the very first time that a woman emerged to be seated at the very epicenter of the state and of the society and culture of our community. The government would be remiss were it to fail to note the remarkable transformation of the spirit of our community, which a feminine presence at the very heart of these realms has engendered. Her Majesty's government is very conscious of the fact that masculine priorities have heretofore been stressed in this community almost exclusively. To continue to govern this community from an exclusively male perspective, in an age in which we so happily find that a queen reigns over us, is unthinkable. Her Majesty's government, therefore, is profoundly committed to exploring what may be done to make of the Glennish Kingdoms a community undeniably welcoming and hospitable to women and men alike. To that end, a royal commissioner will be appointed to address the role of women in this community and to inaugurate an outreach to women generally. These propositions represent the main priorities of Her Majesty's government for this parliamentary session. Other measures may be laid before you. My Lords and Members of Parliament, it is Her Majesty's most sincere desire that this body continue to do all that it might to keep alive the hopes and aspirations of the Glennish people by providing sound and honest government and by opening wide every window of opportunity. With prudence and sagacity, therefore, you are charged by our Sovereign to recognize the diverse gifts and talents which each citizen possesses, and to make the most wise and prudent use of those gifts and talents. Let no one's talents be wasted through misplacement or neglect. Let us always recognize the strengths which each Glennish subject brings to the table and endeavor to place citizens in offices and positions in which their particular talents may be put to the very best use. The wise stewardship of Glennon's human resources is crucial to this community's success and vitality. Let the work of this Parliament support Glens as they fashion for themselves and for the Glennish Kingdoms a future limited only by their ambitions and imaginations. My Lords and Members of Parliament, may divine providence guide you in your deliberations and make you equal to the trust that has been placed in you.